Hello and welcome to the Pediatric Network. My name is Dr. Mike Marinus. I'm your chiropractor and host here at the Pediatric Network podcast. So for this inaugural podcast, I'm very, very glad to have Sister Samantha Crompton on board with me. How are you doing, Sam?
I'm rocking this lockdown. Thank you very much. I'm excited to be here.
Here we find ourselves in this craziest of positions as healthcare providers. And as healthcare providers in this situation, we are there to be able to provide information to the parents, especially for us that work in this neonate and infant space. And today I'd like to talk about breastfeeding in the age of COVID and what do we know and what can we as health providers say with a good level of certainty to that mom that comes in and goes, I know breastfeeding is the way to go. I know that, I know that in a general circumstance, breastfeeding is what we need to do. Can I still breastfeed? Number one, should I breastfeed?
Yeah.
And then how do I go about it?
I mean, this is so important because we're hearing the word social distancing, and I think moms think, can I pick up my baby? Can I breastfeed? Is it going to transfer? So the important thing is, as a healthcare provider, is to be following the research and just to be very clear about your facts. So let's start with number one, is the WHO is telling us that they have not found any live COVID-19 in breast milk.
Wow.
So what that translates to is that no, the baby cannot catch COVID-19 from the breast milk, from being the actual direct breast milk from the mom. And I think that's where a lot of moms are worried about. Like, this is coming from me, can I catch it? And that is including moms who are testing positive or showing symptoms of this.
Okay.
So the answer is yes, they must breastfeed.
Okay. And when they breastfeed, what kind of hygiene routine or what hygiene protocols should we be telling these moms to be using?
So if the mom is negative, showing no symptoms, she can breastfeed as normal, obviously with everything still being in place, correct latch, all of those things we normally talk about. If the mom has tested positive for COVID-19 or is showing symptoms of COVID-19, then there are some protocols we need to explain to them to put in place. So the number one, and this has been number one from the beginning, is the hand washing, right, and hand sanitizing. So the moms need to wash their hands correctly with soap or with alkalized hand sanitizer before they start breastfeeding. And then the mom preferably would like her to wear a medical mask, okay? But if that medical mask is not available, then she can wear the 3-ply cloth mask because they say that is still beneficial and they must continue to breastfeed even if they don't have a medical mask. Then plus sanitizing any surfaces that the mom is touching regularly throughout the day. So constantly cleaning the surfaces while she's sick and showing symptoms of the COVID-19 and just generally anyway. That's the important part. So it's that hygiene techniques.
Okay. Now, the other side of a breastfeeding mom who is COVID-19 positive, her body is going to be making antibodies.
Yes.
So is there going to be a benefit in terms of antibodies with her breastfeeding?
So that's the important thing, is to actually reassure these moms that breastfeeding is not only nice to do, it's almost necessary to do. Because they are testing they have done quite a few tests on the breast milk, and they're actually looking at it specifically from a safety point of view and from a curative point of view. And what they're showing is that the antibodies are showing up in the breast milk. So that's a very important thing to reiterate to the moms, is just saying it's actually important from a protection point of view of this baby. We've been saying it for years for viruses and cold and flu. If you're sick, continue breastfeeding because you create that immune system for your baby. And it's still holding true for COVID-19. They're seeing that antibodies in the breast milk, and that is so important that the babies are drinking it and getting that immunity from the moms as well.
Fantastic. So the take-home messages that we have from the research at the moment: number one, WHO not found any live COVID-19 inside breast milk. The idea is to keep breastfeeding. However, it's your hygiene protocols that are going to be so important. And the third one, like we we're just saying now, it's not just a nice to do. There is an antibody side to it, and it's fantastic to be able to give that child the bits and pieces that they need to start fighting off something like COVID.
Yeah, absolutely. And then the only one we haven't really touched on is the mom is actually not feeling well. You know, she's sick from the COVID-19. And if she is unable to directly breastfeed her baby because she's really too ill or she has been hospitalized, then we're going to support her as healthcare providers as far as possible to ensure that she's helped to express the milk safely. So with the hygiene protocols for herself and for her devices, so her pumps, whatever she needs, and get that milk to the baby as quickly as we possibly can. So we use her expressed milk, or if there is a possibility to use donor milk if she can't get her milk to the baby, is very
Wonderful.
important.
Thank you very
Yeah.
much, Sister Samantha Crompton, for keeping us up to date on the research when it comes to breastfeeding in the time of COVID-19. I'm sure we will have you back, and thank you very, very much for tuning in to the Pediatric Network podcast.